Hi everyone, my name is CJ and today I'll be taking you through a simple demonstration of how Workato can help you sync invoices and payments between Salesforce and NetSuite. The first scenario I'm going to discuss is to sync a closed on opportunity from Salesforce into an invoice in NetSuite. So this scenario begins when an opportunity is marked as closed on in Salesforce. Once that happens, a Workato recipe will get triggered and it will execute a workflow. Within this workflow, the first thing it will do is it will create a customer in NetSuite if it doesn't exist. And this customer will correspond to the account that's related to the opportunity in Salesforce. Next, the recipe will create items in NetSuite if they don't exist. And these items again correspond to the products that are associated to the opportunity in Salesforce. With the customer information as well as the product information in NetSuite, we can then create an invoice. So that's how Workato is going to help you sync um, your opportunities in Salesforce into an invoice in NetSuite. So let's take a look at this opportunity as an example. So this opportunity is called Big Opportunity. It's associated to the account called Test Account, and it has two products or items associated to it. It's currently in the stage negotiation review. So I'm going to switch it to closed one and click OK and save. So this event is going to get picked up by the Workato recipe, and when that happens, it's going to sync into NetSuite. So if I go to the Workato recipe and I get it to check now, it will poll for the event, which usually does automatically every 5 minutes. But in this case, I forced it to poll manually just so that we can have it happen, you know, um, without having to wait. So now I found the opportunity called Big Opportunity and it's currently syncing and it should be done by now. So if I go back to my opportunity in Salesforce, I have two custom fields set up that I will use as feedback to notify me that the sync is complete. So if I refresh my page, you'll see that the fields NetSuite ID and NetSuite URL have been populated with the information about the invoice. So this NetSuite ID is the internal ID of the NetSuite invoice, and this URL will lead me to the invoice that was just created. So as you can see, the customer is test account, which corresponds to the account related to the opportunity. And the invoice in NetSuite also has two items, which correspond to the items or the products that I have in my opportunity. As you can see, industrial high and installation portable. Uh, they both match here, with quantities one and one, with their corresponding prices and all that. The next scenario follows the first, whereby now that we have the invoice in NetSuite, we want to sync any payment that's made on this invoice back to the opportunity in Salesforce. So this scenario begins when a payment is made on the invoice in NetSuite. When this happens, a Workato recipe will get triggered, and what it does is it will look up in Salesforce. It will try to find the corresponding opportunity or the opportunity that is related to the invoice in NetSuite. Once it finds this opportunity, it will update the opportunity with the payment amount as well as the payment status. So if we look at the invoice that we created earlier under test account with two items, I'm going to click on accept payment. And then I will apply it to the invoice and then I will save. Click OK. So again, if I go back to my recipe, which is in charge of syncing payments, if I click on check now, it should find the event. then it will sync it back to Salesforce. And so, it's done. So if I go back to Salesforce, if I refresh my page, you'll notice that um, now the paid checkbox is marked to indicate that the invoice has been paid in full, as well as a sync of the payment amount, which in this case adds up to more than 90,000, but that's because in NetSuite the items include tax. So that's how Workato can help to sync um, your invoices and payments between Salesforce and NetSuite.